out.
I remember when I was first learning to play, we'd get into the lobby, and people on the other team would yell at me for sucking. And I was like, why are you mad at me? I'm providing a service for you. Aren't you happy that I suck? Like, you should be pleased and want me in every game.
I don't know.
Not me. I'm not. I hate people that suck. I'd rather go against some good people that have somewhat decent good, so I can talk shit to them afterwards.
Well, I mean, if I'm doing so bad that I'm going negative and really hurting the team or whatever in a COD game, like I'll usually leave, you know, because it's better not to have the teammate than a teammate that's going like fucking 2-18 or whatever.
That's like the guy that fucking lost our win streak that one time, Woody. Remember him?
Oh yeah, that was so frustrating. His name was King something. Do you remember?
I don't remember his name, but I remember he's a bitch.
We were in a lobby. There were 6 people, and we were playing TDN. And I had an 80-game win streak, 8-0. And I wasn't having a particularly good game. I was positive, but I was only like positive 6 or 5 or something like that. And my wife's in the other room streaming movies off Netflix, which makes it just really difficult to play well. And they're all laughing, but I swear it happens 5 nights a week. Anyway, so there's this guy running out in the middle in Scrapyard constantly. He just got his sprint on, heading out that office front door, like past where C-Dom would be, or A-Dom would be. And at one point, I'm like, dude, I have an 80-game kill streak. Please stop. You know, just hide in the corner. We'll win this game for you. Just stop all you're dying. And he wouldn't stop. And I hardly ever fuss at people in lobbies, but I fussed at that guy. I was frustrated. 80-game win streak, lost, because he was such a jackass. He would not stop running into sprinting into the middle of Scrapyard.
The whole team was asking, dude, just go sit in the corner.
Yeah.
We'll win this game.
Just stop. And it was like he was committing suicide or something. But he wasn't committing. He was just bad. He went like...
He was talking shit, too.
5-15, yeah.
He was a black guy.
I've got a similar situation, but it's the opposite. We were playing Modern Warfare 2 Team Tactical, and there were only 3 of us. And we were on, I don't know, a 50 win streak or something like that. We pretty much always are for playing Team Tactical. And this guy was just going super negative in a TDM on Favela. And I noticed that he was like 3-8 or so. He was like 3-18 or something like that. I'm like, you know, whatever his name was, Mellow Jordy. I'm like, Jordy, you gotta leave, man. You're killing us. I'm FPS Kyle. I'll send you a friend request. He went, holy shit, you are, and he's gone. I swear to God, like he instantly recognized me and was gone as soon as I said it.
Did you follow through and send him a friend request?
Yeah, I sent him a friend request.
Nice.
Did you delete him 2 days afterwards?
I don't know, maybe 2 months after. Like, I'm not gonna keep that guy around. Like, I run a tight ship.
Oh, you and Socrates.
Okay, Kyle's goal is to have the best friends list on Xbox, and he has succeeded.
All right, I'll tell you what. If I had CNEtters and XCal on my friends list, I would have one of the most gangster friends list possible.
But you got a Treyarch community manager on your friends list.
I got pretty much everybody. I'm collecting you guys like baseball cards at this point. I recently acquired JD 2020, who's the community manager at Treyarch. He's Robert Bowling, but not a homo. And
he just had a baby.
Robert Bowling?
You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger had a baby too.
Yeah, Elton John was married. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, BlameTruth, I want to call
Jackson
you
has
out on
kids.
this. I don't like that you make fun of Robert Bowling's family. It seems wrong to
All right,
me. You know,
I don't make. You misunderstood. I don't make fun of his family. I simply said. I simply told a story one time about how like 402 had a blog post up, and it was like it had a picture of his baby, like him holding his baby. And I was telling the podcast crew, like the Gentleman's Choice crew, about how this one guy commented the picture and just said hideous, and then somebody just commented above him and said, "Wow, real mature, man. Don't talk about his family like that or whatever." And then the guy just commented back and goes, he goes, "I was talking about the kitchen, but now that you mention it, that baby's pretty fucking ugly too." And I told them that. Ever since then, like it's mainly them. I try not to egg them on.
No, come on now. You said the baby had a square head.
It does. That's
that's not nice. That's not nice. It's like this is a Robert Bowling is a community manager, and that makes him somewhat of a fair target, right? Like if you're going to have a YouTube channel, if you're going to be a community manager, you have to be somewhat prepared for the feedback that comes from that kind of public spot.
Yeah.
But his baby and his wife didn't sign up for that.
That's true, but I mean, people make fun of me for looking like the Geico caveman, like when I have a beard. So it's cool with it. You just gotta roll with it. I mean, seriously, I don't mind. So,
but
I mean,
I get that.
I had a cone head when I was a baby.
You are, you have a YouTube channel. You've got what do you have? 100,000 subscribers, something insane like that. And so you're like, all right, I'm in a position of popularity, and I'm going to get all sorts of weird feedback, like Geico Caveman, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
But if they were to insult your baby, that would be crossing the line.
Probably. Yeah, that's why I tried to stop it. Like I just said, I mean, it's mainly the other guys that do it. Mainly, Gangster Hebrew and Andrew Williams or whatever. Like I said at the first episode of the podcast, I think jokingly. And they made it like a weekly thing. So I tried to, it was just like a joke, and it got kind of out of hand. But I mean, if I had a baby and it had a square head, and somebody said it had a square head, I wouldn't get to it.
I think it's just a different story there. I know I'd be ready to choke me a motherfucker out.
Well, no, I mean, I had a cone head when I was a kid, and people said, hey, they told my mom, and like, hey, he has a cone
head. You're fucking beasting this game. I've watched this game before, but about the part where you're in front of the construction building and you do a 360 and kill motherfuckers.
Kyle beasted in the game. Not a good podcast topic. No one else can see it.
I think it's a great podcast topic, guys. Type
you should link this video in the podcast.
I know there's a lot of you guys out there who maybe don't subscribe to me. Like, I got some of the most beast COD 4 footage you're ever gonna see. It's some sick stuff.
Literally, you ever see Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, where they do a spin move and kill people around him? Kyle did that with a P90. He just spun around and killed 4 people.
All right. So I think we're well over an hour at this point. Do you guys want to do Woody's cool story, bro, or wrap up the podcast?
Let's do the cool story, bro.
All right. So here's how this works, BlameTruth. I'll list a couple of story topics, and then you pick them. So My first apartment, my worst beating ever, Woody's testicular torsion, or Woody's race relations.
Oh, geez, that's a tough one.
Race relations.
I don't know. What was the second one again?
I'll do them all. First apartment, worst beating ever, Woody's testicular torsion, or Woody's race relations.
I'm just gonna go. Oh man, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with 4. The last one though.
The race relations.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm about 15 years old. And I work at a shoe store. I'm selling shoes at Leon's men's store, like jeans and stuff like that. And I'm waiting outside after it had closed at 5 p.m. for my brother to pick me up. And I don't know what I am, 15, I might have been even 16. And this black guy walks by me, and he's about 2 years younger than me. And for reasons I don't know, he called me a fag. And I'm like, yeah. So he walks by, calls me a fag. I say, fuck you. And that's kind of how it starts. Now, how this fight would have worked, I'm not exactly sure. He was shorter than me, but a little more muscular, and I was a little older, but taller and thinner. And it would have been, I think, somewhat of a fair matchup. But I'm also there with my older brother's friend, and I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me. And my older brother's friend was like, bug off, kid. You better go, or the fight was going to be between those two, which was not a fair match. My brother's friend would have crushed him. So all right, fair enough. The little kid, leaves, and he comes back with a posse, including this one guy who must have weighed 300 pounds. He was like Kyle's dad, and yeah. And now they're all focused on my brother's friend because he was the one, who threatened to beat down this little kid. And when the kid retold the story, it was, probably like, oh, look, this big guy's picking on me, etc. So I said it was a posse. I don't want to exaggerate. There may be 3 or 4 guys, including one who was really more of a mountain than a man. And I don't know who called the police or what. They hadn't started beating my brother's friend, but they were like pushing him around. And the cops start coming out of nowhere. This is the same police department that rounded up like the 300 rioters in the other store. They're really effective. And they're like jackknifed the cars in the streets with the sirens going off. And in no time at all, there's like 6 police cars breaking this whole thing up. And they asked me, what happened? And I tell the story just as I did now. And the police start like taking the black guys and throwing them in the back of the cop cars. And the big guy didn't want to go. So there were like 5 or 6 cops who eventually tackled him and cuffed him by his feet and his arms. And, picked him up somehow and laid him belly down into the back of a police car. And they offered to give me a ride home, which is sort of what my whole intent was, just to get home from after my after-school job. And one thing I'll never forget is, we're sitting in the back of the police car, and he's giving us a ride home, to make sure we get there safely. And he turns around to my friend and I and goes, and they wonder why cops are racist against fucking niggers. That's what the policeman said to me. And I was like, wow. It was kind of eye-opening. So that's my cool story.
Sounds like an American History X story or something.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Story. I hear you trailing off.
You've never seen American History X?
You've never seen American... Hold up. You never seen
Back
American
the curb,
History X?
nigger.